Crafters, it's Cynthia. Today I'm going to be making a really cute little ice cream cone card, and I'm going to be using the Punny Snacks stamp set from Scrappiness. So for this, I'm going to select the little ice cream cone here, and I'm going to use the You're Too Sweet sentiment, and also this little outlined heart. So my piece of paper here is 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it's just a little bit smaller than my card base. And I'm going to be doing stamping all over it. So I'm putting down a scrap piece of paper underneath. And I'm using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And I'm just going to go ahead, ink up my little cone here, and then just start stamping it randomly all over the background. And for this, I sort of want to create a pattern, but I'm not going to be super particular about perfect placement. So I'm just going to be staggering the stamp and kind of turning it to the left and to the right. And I'm just going to do my best to fill this piece of cardstock in. And I don't want to forget to do the edges. And now I'm going to sprinkle clear embossing powder over that ink. And I really love the way that this looks. It just makes that black ink stand out so beautifully against the white cardstock. So now I am going to add the little tiny hearts. And again, I'm just, filling in little open spaces between the ice cream cones. And anywhere I think needs an extra one, I will pop it down. So now the favorite part is melting all that wonderful powder. And this is going to be nice too because I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of watercolor painting with my zig markers. And so having this embossed edging to all the stamping is actually going to help me quite a bit when I paint. So here's my aqua brush, and it just has a nice little tip there, and the body of the pen is full of water. And I like to have a paper towel off to the side. And you'll see why in a moment. So I'm using the pink color, and this light brown is oatmeal and the darker brown is just brown. So I'm using the oatmeal, and I'm just going to go ahead and color in the cone completely with this light color. And you'll see that when I do my blending, it'll be nice having this base already down. So now I'm taking the brown, and I'm just going to color a tiny bit of the edge, and using my aqua brush, I'm dipping right into the brown and dragging the color across to the other side. And it's naturally going to mix with the water and get lighter as it moves across the cone. And then I'm wiping away any excess ink and excess water onto that paper towel. And that's why I like to have it. And I'm also kind of, you'll see me dabbing my fingertip into the ink as well, just to help lighten that edge even more. And there it is, with all the cones colored in. And now I'm taking the pink marker, and I'm just putting down a tiny drop of pink ink and using my aqua brush to pull it across the whole heart. And of course, these are so tiny that it might be a little difficult to see the fade of color, but it's there, I promise. And then once I'm done coloring all the little hearts, I can actually take my brush and pick up any of the pink ink that didn't really fade well. So I'm almost erasing color, which is another little thing you can do. And now I'm going to go ahead and color in my ice cream. And I just want to put, again, the color just along the left side. And now I'm starting in the pink, getting water into it, and then dragging it across the whole ice cream cone. And I want to remember to get those little ones at the edges. So you'll see me do this again. And I'm starting in the pink and then dragging it across until it naturally gets lighter. And that's just because you're running low on ink by that point. And then also the water from the pen. But you don't want this running with water. You just want it slightly damp. All right, so that is all of the cute little pink ice cream cones colored in. Then I'm going to use these double stitched circle dies. And I'm using the second largest one, or smallest, depending on how you look at it. And I'm going to cut out a piece of this pretty polka dot paper that goes really well with that pink ink. And I'm actually going to cut out also a nice circle from the panel that we just created. So I'm just getting this into the center the best I can. And I'm going to use a small piece of low tack painter's tape just to help hold that die when I run it through the machine. So now here is my polka dot circle all cut out, and you can see that it has that super cute stitch detailing around the edge. And then here is my panel, and this circle here I'm definitely going to save for a future project. So I'll set that one aside. And now the panel we created here has also an opening, but there's the stitch detailing on that also, which is such a pretty detail, and that's why I love those dies. So I'm also going to run the background through a polka dot embossing folder, and I just wanted something to really help that panel. So see, I think that that just adds just a little bit of subtle interest. And I really like the way that turned out. So now this is just going to get attached. I'm wiping away any imperfections. I'm just going to attach it down to my A2 size card base. So I'll use my tape gun for that. And I'm doing my best to lay this down centered. And you can see it is just a little smaller than the card base. And now for this polka dot circle, I'm going to treat it with my anti-static bag. And now I have the sentiment, "You're too sweet," and also the ice cream again. And I'm using the VersaFine Onyx Black ink again. This is one of my favorite black inks ever because it's so just true, rich black. So I'm going to stamp that down, and I'm also going to cover this with my clear embossing powder. And of course I'm going to save all the excess powder. And now the melting, and this is just going to really make that sentiment pop against that background. Now I have created another ice cream cone on a separate piece of cardstock, and I colored it exactly the same way as I colored the ones on the card. And I'm just using my little scissor nippers here to trim this out. And what I'm doing is I'm actually trimming right on that black line. And I don't want to have any white showing. And the nice thing about this stamp is that the line is nice and thick, and so it makes trimming out absolutely a breeze. So I really appreciate that. If the line were really thin, it would be much, much harder to cut perfectly. So I'm just taking my time. There's no rush, no race. I really want to do the best I can here. And it's really a simple image, so this is all in real time. It didn't take much time at all. So there it is. And I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape. I'm just using my Scotch foam tape here. You can use anything that you have. And I'm just going to peel away the backing paper. Maybe. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to put that right over the cone that's stamped. And this is just going to give a little pop, a little interest. And then it's also going to make the background and this sentiment piece cohesive. They will now match each other. So then I'm going to, of course, put more foam tape so that I can pop up this center circle. I love this tape because it's kind of a low profile. I like dimension, but I don't like things to be super, super thick. So this is nice and subtle. And then I'm just going to do my best to try to get that right into the center. Make sure everything is tacked down really nice. And there it is, the finished card. I hope you like the way that this turned out. I love the bright colors, and I love that adorable stamp set. So I appreciate you sitting with me through this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you're going to give something like this a try. I love creating my own custom backgrounds, so you'll see me do that all the time, but it's a wonderful way to use your stamp sets, especially something that's a little bit smaller like this ice cream cone. So thank you again for joining me, and please be sure to check out the Cat Scrappiness website. This stamp set is available now. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.